Welcome to Visions of Success Internet Talk Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Fred Simkowsky. You know, someone once said that success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. Well, I believe that you need just as much inspiration, if not more, than just perspiration. I mean, after all the sweat in the world isn't going to make you successful unless you are inspired. This is the place to go to seek insights, inspiration, advice, tricks, tips on how to attain the life and career success you've always dreamed of, wanted, and desired.
Today, I am here with Roger Leidig. Now, let me tell you an interesting thing about Roger. This is what he thinks. If life is going along, but you just don't quite feel content, don't quite know what your real purpose in life is, or perhaps your life feels like something, somewhat of a rat race, which we all feel every now and then, filled with anxiety, then Roger is the man we want to talk to. Why? He wrote a book, Finding Purpose and Joy. It's a journey. Now, this book was written based on the author, Roger's, personal journey of growth and learning through adversity. Where have we been all this time? His journey revealed 10 steps to finding purpose and joy, and I read the book, great book, that are expanded on with real life experiences. So, today we're going to talk about finding purpose and joy. It's a journey. Roger, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Great to have you here. So I think we need to get into the real meat of this because I know people are anticipating to find out how to get some joy back into their life because, let's face it, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Okay, so share with us, if you will, how did this book come about?
Well, it had some different beginnings, but the primary one, I guess I would say, is in 1999, I had a heart attack. And after the heart attack, I survived, obviously. I asked the doctor, what can I do to live a reasonable life from this point on? And he said 3 things. Learn to eat right, learn to exercise, and learn to manage stress.
The three important things.
Yeah.
Right, eat right. What was that second one?
Eat right, exercise.
Exercise, yeah, that's what a lot of us don't do a lot of. And reduce stress. Yeah. Oh, wow. You'd think it's that simple. But tell us, Roger, why isn't it that simple?
Well, the first 2 really are relatively simple if you're committed to it.
Yes.
Learning to eat right and exercise, if you're committed, you can do it. Now the third thing, learn to manage stress, that's a whole other animal.
Yeah.
Because we have so many ingrained habits, we have the lifestyle that we're living, and so that's what really put me on the journey of trying to understand how can I learn to manage stress.
Yeah, and that's probably the most difficult one because, we put enough stress on our own selves, a lot of us are perfectionists, you gotta get it right, you gotta get it done today, you gotta get it, and I gotta, and then the rest of the world does a good job, okay, of putting stress on us. Okay, so it really is a case of managing stress. So give us the audience a little bit of an idea. Okay, how do you manage to reduce stress?
Well, there's a couple things that really stood out in my mind as I began that journey of learning to manage stress, thinking about it, reading about it. That kind of thing, listening to people. And the first step that really popped into my mind was, who do I want to be 20 years from now? It's not what do I want to be, but who do I want to be?
Yeah, who.
And the who do I be, what that means is, what kind of person do I want to be? Do I want to be a person that is running ragged, that my relationships are all messed up? Do I want my family disassembled? Do I want my life to be kind of frazzled? And the answer was obviously no. I hoped that in 20 years or 30 years or whatever your time frame is, my life would be in order. And I really was hoping there would be some peace in it, joy in it, and that I would be living a satisfied and happy life on this earth. So I started developing a picture of what I wanted my marriage to look like 20 years from now. What do I hope my kids, their lives look like? My grandkids. What would I want my next anniversary to look like? Would I want my friends and people there? And, you know, there's something that people always encourage you to think about when you're thinking down the road. At the end of your days, how do you hope people will remember you?
Yes.
And so that was the first thing, is starting to get a clear picture of who I wanted to become, because rarely at a funeral do people talk about the money you made and the toys you bought and the houses. They talk about relationships. And so that's really became the focus of, I need to understand who I want to be. The second thing then, Fred, is to realize that when our Maker designed people, he made us different than animals and other living things, in that we all have choice, the ability to make choices. And we can choose, really, in essence, we can choose who we want to become. There are things in life that may alter that course, but by and large, every day we make hundreds or even thousands of decisions. And some may seem like they're just little ones, but if we start realizing every choice makes a difference.
Yes.
And our choice will either take us closer to the picture of who we want to become or farther away from it. And when we start running our choices through that grid, if we have a clear picture of who we want to become, our choices become a lot simpler to make.
Wow. That is so good. So, I guess what you're saying here today is, and I think that's a lot of what's got to do with your book, is, you know, today is not your destination, it's the first day of the rest of your life. So, I guess what we're talking about here is, it's not the end today of where you're going to be. It's going to change every day in the future. The question is, what are the choices you want to make sure that the changes you're looking for are going to have less stress, okay, help you to feel healthier, happier, and find that joy we're talking about. Isn't that what it's all about?
It's what it's all about. It's really important. A lot of times people, particularly, well, either way, whether they're in stress or they're in good times, for some reason or other, we tend to think this is the way it's always going to be.
Yeah.
And it isn't. This is just one day, and the great news every time we get up in the morning is this is the first day of the rest of our life. And we can make choices that will lead us to where we want to go. The thing is not to get discouraged, because it won't happen with a snap of the fingers. It's developing a process and realizing that no matter where we're at, beginning to make choices that will begin leading us out of that rat race. And, you know, we have job commitments and financial commitments, so we can't just drop everything, but we can start slowly making choices that will lead us out of that. Maybe our next choice would be maybe not buying such a big car. Or maybe it's not extending ourselves and going into debt to buy something we really don't need. Or maybe it's deciding to take our wife on a date instead of going and playing golf with the guys. Those kind of things.
Yeah, that's a big one if you want to stay married.
That's right.
So, I think the question becomes for most of us, because you bring up a good question, a good answer, about having choices. It's a process that takes time, okay? So the real question for some of us, because you bring a good point here about it's today and what you want to be in the future, but I think you understand this also. A lot of people start to wonder, okay, is there a certain age before I have to find my purpose? Some of us, like you, it was a heart attack that got you to sit down and think about, what am I doing? 2 years ago, I was in the hospital in an induced coma because the doctors didn't know what happened to me. I had convulsion. I wasn't breathing. I mean, you name it, they tested it. I almost died after about a week in this induced coma till they brought me back from being dead. Okay, and then you reevaluate yourself. But you know what? I've come to believe after these 2 years, which, you're recuperating forever, you feel like. You're never back to your true self. But I think it really is important, is there a certain age before we find purpose, or is it more of it happens to us?
It's not a certain age. It's not like 45 or 50. But I would say this. There's a saying that goes like this: you can't teach someone anything until they're ready to learn.
Yes.
And people aren't ready to learn until they see a reason to learn.
Yes.
And they don't see a reason to learn until they have enough pain that they don't like the way things are going, that they're saying, you know what? I need to learn something different because I don't like it the way it's going right now. And when there's enough pain, that's when people start becoming open to new learning, to doing life differently.
Yeah, but I think let's speak here for the people. That doesn't mean that they have to wait till they have a heart attack or in an induced coma in an ICU like me, okay? I think when we talk about the pain that you're talking about is, do you go to a job every day and you hate going there? Do you dislike the people you're dealing with? Are you really unhappy with the way your life is going? It's that kind of pain, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay, so the question becomes, I think the answer is what you say, is it's a matter of sitting down and really doing that introspection to say, who am I? Where am I going? Where do I want to be going? Okay? And I think that's the greatest point that you've brought today, because, forget the age, okay? Each of us have to take that time to find the purpose. So I guess if we're going to say anything to our audience today is, don't wait till the heart attack. Don't wait till the time you're in ICU. Sit down today, even if you think you're the happiest person in the world, okay? Sit down and ask yourself, who am I? What do I want in life going forward? Where am I going? Who am I going with? Aren't those some of the questions we need to be asking practically daily?
Absolutely. Can I give you an example?
Absolutely.
I have a young cousin who's about 28 years old, and he's a very smart guy. He's a CPA, and in the world's eyes, he has got a golden plate ahead of him. But you know what? He works 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. He doesn't have time to socialize and meet people, and he's just on a career track. But he's come to that point in his life that he's saying, just a minute. I look around at these other people in my firm. I don't want the life that they have.
Yes.
This is a great firm and I love what I'm doing, but that's not where I want to end up. And he is taking action right now. In fact, today, he's talking to the people at his company saying, I don't see this lining up. I love this company, but this isn't the way I want my life to end up 10 years from now, 20, 30 years from now. So that's what we need to, that's why you don't have to have a heart attack to do it. Just assess the situation you're in right now.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you have to run out and quit your job.
No.
And, I think the one thing that I'm a certified life and career coach, so I coach a lot of people, in fact, in 6 different countries, over 1,000 people in the past 15 years. And the first thing I always ask people, because they always come to me, and they always come to you and they tell you the worst thing that's going on in their life, how unhappy they give you the whole litany of problems, and I know one woman was telling me about her female problems with her doctor. It's like, oh my God, I don't think I need to be knowing this. So I said to her, you know what? This is the real bottom line, okay? Forget what's going on in your life. Forget what has been going on in your life and think about this. What do you want to do tomorrow that's going to make you happy? What's your passion? What's your desire? What's the kind of things that really get you going in the morning? And when she started telling me that, oh my God, I couldn't even write fast enough, okay?
Yeah.
But that's the questions, those are the kinds of questions that we need to ask ourselves, okay? And it doesn't make a difference where you are in your life, whether you just came out of college, okay, or just came out of high school if you didn't want to go to college. The question is, what do you really enjoy doing? And you know what? The people like you and I who have found the real stuff that we like doing, it's not work anymore. It's fun. It's exciting. You want to get up the next day and go to it. Isn't that really the bottom line?
Absolutely. Yes.
So if you were going to give our audience the one freebie from your book, if you will, okay, what is the one step our listeners could take today to find more purpose and joy?
Well, I think you've really hit on the very first one, and that is stop right now and think about, where am I at?
Yeah.
And where do I want to go? Am I on a track to take me where I want to go? And so that's the first step, is clearly identifying the situation. Because if you don't do that, then you just wander around. So, and then the other thing that goes with that is what you also said, realize that whatever's happened up to today, that's only history.
Yes.
And, it's not that you ignore it, but you don't look back and stay there. You only use that to help teach you that you can learn what you would do differently to make your tomorrow better.
Yes, and I think that's an important point, okay? We get stuck in the past, and it's our own fault for doing that. Whatever happened in the past, good, bad, or indifferent, forget it.
Right.
Like you said, tomorrow's a new day. What's the new day going to be like?
Yep. And that's what gives us hope. And hope is critical to moving forward. When you believe there really can be a better day.
And give our audience another idea. You're here. You don't know. You're not sure really where to go tomorrow. You're not really sure of what'll make you happy. What can you do?
Well, I think it would be good to.
Yes.
Are you wasting your time right now by sitting in front of a TV or a gaming center? And is that really helping you move forward in life? Or are you spending all your time with activities that don't mean anything? They only bring short-term happiness, but they don't build for a long-term future. And if you can think through how you're using your time, for instance, you take in a marriage, we can do a lot of things that keep us away from our partner. It might be work. We might be working, 60, 70 hours a week, or we might be golfing a lot, or we might be going to games, or this kind of thing. But what happens then when we make those kind of choices, we end up always putting out fires or in crisis because we haven't done the things to develop a healthy relationship. But if we can learn to do preventative type of things to prevent crisis from happening, that's a good use of our time. If we know where we're going to go and then start making choices that will prevent future crisis, then our time starts becoming more meaningful and more valuable, and the wheel starts running a lot more smoothly down the road.
Oh yeah, I think that's exactly, and here you're giving an example of your spouse. I think it's that type of thing. If you don't know where you're going and you're not sure where you're going, if you're married, wife, husband, whoever, sit down and talk with them, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, if you've been married for a while, if you're unhappy, your spouse is unhappy. So if you start talking with them, you'll find out what the unhappiness is about, and then the two of you can get together and resolve it. And I think this is the point where all of us fall on our face. For some reason, we are all, I guess, inherently built that we're asking for help. And that's the one thing I learned when I got sick 2 years ago and was in that ICU, almost died. I learned it's time to learn how to ask for help. And what a difference it's been, asking my grown kids if I need help, my wife if I need help, people like yourself who I meet, okay, asking for help and assistance. It's like the door of opportunity opens so wide that it's almost like, oh my God, I got so many choices now, and I was so blind to the choices. So it's really about learning how to get help, isn't it?
It really is. And in my case, I saw it in work as well as at home, in marriage and parenting my kids. And my problem early on, to be quite honest, Fred, is I thought I knew all the answers.
Yeah, we all do when we get married and have kids. We think we got to be the smart guy. We think we got to have the answer to everything, and the fact is, most of them we haven't got the answers to anything.
So if you really want to boil it down, part of taking this next step in life is being willing to be humble.
Yes.
And put our pride to the side and realize there's so much we can learn if we'll just be willing to use our 2 ears a whole lot more than our 1 mouth.
Oh, yeah. That is a big one, okay? We spend most of our time talking and too little time listening. And if we spent more time listening and less time talking, there would be a whole new world out there. And I think part of our problem is, we almost have too much information. With all the technology we have today, we have so much information bombarding us every moment. We don't have real time to, that 30-second message is the only thing we listen to, and we really need to take more time to listen to the bigger messages, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely do.
So, let's do a quick recap here, because I want to give you enough time to let people to know exactly, who you are, how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your book, because the book is a great book. I read it. It's excellent. Okay? So, let me do a quick recap here. First of all, okay, what we spoke about was that this is about finding purpose and joy, the journey. In other words, it's a process over time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen, it's something's not going to fall out of the sky and hit you in the head. You got to take time. It all starts with some really basic things. Things like eating right, exercising, because those 2 things, as Roger said, that's easy to commit to. All you do is got to take the time, get a regular schedule, you can get there. The difficult one is reducing stress. How do you reduce stress? Well, to begin with, as Roger said, okay, the first question is, who do I want to be in the future. He used 20 years from now. Anybody can use 10, 15, whatever's important to you. Who do I want to be? Now, that doesn't mean how much money you want. That doesn't mean, how much stardom you want. It's a matter of who do you want to be personally, okay? Which means you got to look at all the different aspects of your life, the things that are affecting not only you, but the people around you. And then it's all about having choices. Sometimes we think about this stuff and we think we're boxing. Oh, I got this job. I can't quit. I'm stuck here. I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. No, it's about having choices. And as Roger said, once you have the understanding that you have choices, then the only thing you need to do is sit down and start making them. And what we both said in this discussion was really simple. Yes, we all have history. Yes, we all have baggage, if you will. But the fact of the matter is, you gotta forget what happened in the past. Now, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, there's medium stuff that you can't put in any category. But the basic idea is, yesterday was yesterday. You can't change it. You can't change it. Where are you today? Where do you want to be in the future? Roger, is that what we did not speak about today?
That is what we spoke.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I think we made our point. Now, this is the important part of the whole interview. Roger Leidig is a fantastic person to talk to. His book is absolutely fantastic. I read it. When you read his 10 steps to finding that journey, okay, it's so simple and so different than anything I have ever read. It's like all of a sudden, all kinds of things are going to open up in your life. Okay, so Roger, I want you to tell carefully. The book is Finding Purpose and Joy. It's a journey. How can they get it? How can they contact you if they want to talk with you, and any other information so they know exactly who Roger Leidig is?
Well, the very simplest way is to go to the website, which is www.findingpurposeandjoy.com.
Good.
And then when you go to that site, you'll see on the landing page, the home page, it says click to buy on Amazon. And when you click on that link, it will take you to the Amazon site where the Kindle book and both the softcover are available, so you can buy there. There also is a contact page that you can email me, and I will give you my email address as well, but you can get it that way or simply email me at Roger Leidig, and that's spelled ROGERLAIDIG @gmail.com.
Excellent. Roger, this has been terrific. Okay? I mean, I read the book and I'm still excited about thinking about, what am I going to do tomorrow? I actually have a day off tomorrow. Okay. So my question is, what am I going to do tomorrow? And I'm going to have to sit down with my wife. I'm sure she'll tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Roger.
Listen closely then.
Yeah, Roger, this has been great, okay? Thank you for being here today, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you real soon again.
Very good. Thanks for the invitation.
Remember to go to my website, lifecareerbusinesscoach.com, for more information and assistance you may be looking for. There is a link there for this show, Visions of Success Internet Talk Radio, where you can listen to replays and more interviews on a regular basis. And be sure to subscribe to my monthly newsletter for more great learning and insight. This show airs every Friday and was hosted by amazing Women of Power Radio Network and in conjunction with Raven International Network. Have a great day, and you can get it done.